25th step. Telling people about their Lord. Every speech comes out with an aspect that reflects the heart of the speaker. If God allows a speaker to express himself, people will understand his words and comprehend his gestures. In the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. This stage on our journey to God relates to the speech in which the believers tell people about God. Every believer has a responsibility to call people to their Creator, to remind them of their Lord, and to participate in reform. Quran, Surah 11, Ayah 88. I desire no more than reform in so far as it lies within my power. Quran, Surah 12, Ayah 108. Say, O Prophet, this is my way, resting upon conscious insight accessible to reason. I am calling you all unto God, I and they who follow me. This was the mission of every prophet of God and every follower of the right path. There are different kinds of speech. There is a certain type of speech that has a considerable influence on people. This speech, as the Sheikh explains, is not the fluent speech that comes from an intelligent mind or an eloquent tongue. Rather, it is the speech that comes from an enlightened heart. Recall the many speeches given by prophets, reformers, and righteous leaders. A few sentences that changed the course of history. Their words came from pure hearts. Some of these speeches deserved to be recorded by God in his glorious book, the Quran. The following are a few examples. Here is a speech delivered by Prophet Abraham alayhi. Quran, Surah 26, Ayah 75 to 89. Said Abraham, have you then ever considered what it is that you have been worshipping, you and those ancient forebears of yours? Now as for me, I know that verily those false deities are my enemies, and that none is my helper save the sustainer of all the worlds, who has created me, and is the one who guides me, and is the one who feeds me and gives me drink, and when I fall ill is the one who restores me to health, and who will cause me to die, and then will bring me back to life, and who, I hope, will forgive me my faults on Judgment Day. O my Sustainer, endow me with the ability to judge between right and wrong, and make me one with the righteous, and grant me the power to convey the truth unto those who will come after me, and place me among those who will inherit the garden of bliss. And forgive my father, for verily he is among those who have gone astray, and do not put me to shame on the day when all will be raised from the dead, and when only he will be happy who comes before God with a heart free of evil. Read also the speech of Prophet Noah alayhi salam. Quran, Surah 10, Ayah 71 to 72. And convey unto them the story of Noah, when he said unto his people, O my people, if my presence among you and my announcement of God's messages are repugnant to you, well, in God have I placed my trust. Decide then upon what you are going to do against me, and call to your aid those beings to whom you ascribe a share in God's divinity. And once you have chosen your course of action, let no hesitation deflect you from it, and then carry out against me whatever you may have decided, and give me no respite. But if you turn away from the message which I bear, remember that I have asked no reward whatever of you. My reward rests with none but God, for I have been bidden among those who have surrendered themselves unto him. Read also this dialogue between Prophet Moses and Pharaoh and his people. Quran, Surah 26, Ayah 22 to 30. Said Pharaoh, and what and who is that sustainer of all the worlds? Moses answered, he is the sustainer of the heavens and the earth and all that is in between them. If you would but allow yourselves to be convinced. Said Pharaoh unto those around him, Did you hear what he said? And Moses continued, He is your sustainer too, as well as the sustainer of your forefathers of old. Pharaoh exclaimed, Behold, your messenger, who claims that he has been sent unto you, is mad indeed. But Moses went on, He of whom I speak is the sustainer of the east and the west, and all that is in between the two, as you would know if you would but use your reason. Said Pharaoh, Indeed, if you choose to worship any deity other than me, I shall most certainly throw you into prison. Said he, Even if I should bring about before you something that clearly shows the truth? Read also the speech of the Prophet Jesus alayhi salam. Quran, Surah 19, Ayah 30 to 33. But Jesus said, Behold, I am a servant of God. He has vouchsafed unto me revelation, and made me a prophet, and made me blessed wherever I may be. And he has enjoined upon me prayer and charity as long as I live, and has endowed me with piety towards my mother, and he has not made me haughty or bereft of grace. Hence, peace was upon me on the day I was born, and will be upon me on the day of my death, and on the day where I shall be raised to life again. Read the speech of the believing man of Pharaoh's family. Quran, Surah 40, Ayah 38 to 44. The man who believed said further, O my people, follow me. I will lead you to the path of right. O my people, this life of the present is nothing but temporary convenience. It is the hereafter that is the home that will last. He that works evil will not be requited but by the like thereof, and he that works a righteous deed, whether man or woman, and is a believer, such will enter the garden of bliss. Therein will they have abundance without measure. And, O my people, how strange is it for me to call to you to salvation, while ye call to me to the fire? You do call upon me to blasphemy against God, and to join with him partners of whom I have no knowledge. And I call you to the exalted in power, who forgives again and again. Without doubt you do call me to one who is not fit to be called to, whether in this world or in the hereafter. Our return will be to God. And the transgressors will be companions of the fire. Soon will you remember what I say to you now. My own affair I commit to God, for God ever watches over his servants. You can feel through the words that all these speeches had aspects of light shining through the heart of the speaker. The same holds true for the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's speech. Read, for example, his speech in the Battle of Tabuk. Verily, the most veracious discourse is the Book of God. The most trustworthy handhold is the word of piety. The best of religions is the religion of Abraham. The best of traditions is the Sunnah of Muhammad. The noblest speech is the mentioning of God. The finest of narratives is this Quran. The best of affairs is that which has been firmly resolved upon. The worst matters are those which are created without heavenly sanction. The best of ways is the one ridden by the prophets. The noblest death is the death of a martyr. The most miserable blindness is waywardness after guidance. The best of knowledge is that which is beneficent. The best guidance is that which is put into practice. The worst blindness is the blindness of the heart. The upper hand is better than the lower. That is, it is better to give than to receive. The little that suffices is better than the abundant and alluring. The worst apology is that which is tendered when death stares one in the face. The worst remorse is that which is felt on the day of resurrection. Some men do not come to Friday prayer but with hesitance and delay, and some of them do not remember God, but with reluctance. The tongue that is addicted to false expression is a bubbling spring of sins. The most valuable possession is contentment of the heart. The best provision is that of piety. The highest wisdom is the awe of God. The best thing to be cherished in the hearts is faith and conviction. Doubt is part of infidelity. Impatient wailing and fulsome praise of the dead is an act of ignorance. Betrayal leads one to the fire of hell. Liquor is the mother of evils. Each one of you must resort to a place of 4 cubits in the grave. Your affairs will be decided ultimately in the next life. He who pardons is himself granted pardon. He who forgives others is forgiven by God. He who represses anger, God rewards him. He who faces misfortunes with perseverance, God compensates him. He who shows patience and forbearance, God doubles his reward. He who disobeys God, God chastises him. This is a speech from the Prophet's heart that reached the people easily and had a considerable influence on them. Anyone who tells the people about the Creator must first ensure that his speech arises from the heart. If you want to offer advice to anyone, mend your heart first. When you have a sincere intention in your heart, your influence on people will be stronger. That is, people will understand your words and comprehend your gestures, as the Shaykh says in these words of wisdom. The Prophet's companions also gave eloquent speeches that not only influenced their audiences, but also changed the course of history. Abu Bakr al-Siddiq radiallahu anh gave a very important speech immediately after he became caliph. One of the most influential statements was the following: I have been given the authority over you, and I am not the best of you. If I do well, help me, and if I do wrong, set me right. Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anh said, When did you enslave people whose mothers bore them free? Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anh said, O people, you need a ruler who is a good doer, not a ruler who is a good speaker. Ali ibn Abu Talib radiallahu anh said, The keeper of a safe dies, and what he guards and the treasures remain. However, a man of knowledge lives throughout the ages. Ibn Atta is right. If God allows a speaker to express himself, people will understand his words and comprehend his gestures.